Alright, and welcome to Module 8 of the GSU TV Practicum Post-Production Certification. In the last module we talked about transcriptive. In this module we're going to talk about creating a rough sequence, building the story through edits, cleaning up dialogue, adding 2-frame default transitions between every dialogue edit that applies only to the audio, and then ducking the music to not compete with the SOT or the sound of talent. We're also going to show you how to add B-roll to your sequence. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so we have our transcriptive sequence that we would have had our script from, and we don't have our script back yet, but we want to cover these things about how to edit dialogue. So even when you get your script back, you'll want to clean up the dialogue. But first, what we need to do is, in our segment bin, we need to create a new sequence. So what we'll do is we'll just come over here to our transcriptive sequence. We're going to copy and paste that guy, and we're going to say, okay, this is going to be our Java cats rough cut. Alright, we're going to drag that into segment. Double click that guy, he's going to open up. We're going to drag him over to the left. We can actually close down that assemble sequence. So now we're just dealing with our transcriptive and our rough cut. And I'm going to zoom out on this and highlight everything and delete it. Zoom back in. Start off, we're just going to pretend like we're doing this for real. We're going to take this from our selects reel. We're going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to copy it, take it over to our rough cut, and we're going to paste it. Doing this for real, we want to add in some music, so we're going to select one of these guys, that's a little bit more upbeat, right? So endpoint, alright, we'll outpoint there. We're going to make sure that we have this selected to be on. Make this guy a little bit bigger, put him right at the beginning, and we're going to overwrite. So it's going to put that right in there. Okay. And we're going to do what's called ducking audio, right? So we're going to use our pen tool. We're going to duck the audio for our soundtrack down so that we can clearly hear our SOT or sound of talent. And we're going to go back to the selection tool. We're going to raise her up.
Yeah, so we're
Went a little bit too far there.
the only one. Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from.
Go down just a little bit more. Expand this out.
We're the only one in Georgia, and it started from. Yeah, so we're the only one.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to clean up this audio, right? So she talks, and most people talk this way. They say and ah and all that stuff, but it's our job to make them sound as clear and concise as we can. We want them to look good so that we look good. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock our soundtrack layer. We're going to come through.
So we're the only.
Right, so she says We're going to zoom in.
We're the
We can see on the timeline where she says from the waveform. Right, we can use our cursor tools. Razor tool, supercut. Right, supercut. Selection tool. Lasso the in between. Take these guys, butt them together. And we're going to right click and do an apply default transition on the audio. We're going to double click that. We're going to use the keypad on the keyboard to type in 2. And then we're going to hit enter. And what that does is that makes a 2-frame cross-dissolve between that cut. We're going to listen to it.
Yeah, so we're the only one in.
Okay.
We're the only one.
And what we can do is we're going to listen to it, and if we can hear the cut, we're going to play with this guy, holding down Alt, click, hold Alt, and that will move where that starts.
So we're the only one in Georgia. So we're the only one in Georgia, and it's
All right, and then we can, if we needed to, change the camera.
so we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from
All right, she says again.
and it started from
Razor tool. Right, film. Right, we'll make sure we get all that in there. So cut, razor tool, selection tool, and we can do what's called a ripple edit. Since we have this layer locked down here, we can select the space in between, and we can hit the big delete up by the plus and minus up at the top of the keyboard. Right click, default transition, double click, the number 2, enter. So if we listen to this,
started from a film class I was in. I had to do a project on some phenomenon in media, so I picked YouTube cat videos. And through that project, just doing some research, I came across the concept of a cat cafe I'd never heard of before, and just was super intrigued by it and couldn't stop thinking about it. So I just wanted to see what it would take to make one happen here.
if we notice, her audio is actually kind of low. What we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to adjust the audio gain. What this does is we're going to normalize the max peaks, and we're going to start out with -6 because we don't want to go too crazy. And see, that gives us a lot more volume.
Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from a film class I was in. I had to do a project
Okay, so we'll bring these down a little bit.
in Georgia, and it started from a film class.
All right, we can switch the camera again.
So we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from a film class I was in. I had to do a project on some phenomenon in media, so I picked YouTube cat videos. And through that project,
Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to have the audio come back up
I picked to make one happen here.
when she's done talking. Duck that back up.
Happen here.
And what we can do is we can select these keyframes, and I'm holding shift and I select the second one, and then click, hold shift, drag it over to right when she's done.
One happen here.
Alright, and then we want to go back to our selection tool, select the edge, and we want that to fade out. I can hover over the edge of this cross dissolve and drag it in to where it's right where she's done talking. We don't want to hear that background noise just cut out really quick.
Happen here.
So we need to add B-roll over this. What we do is we go back to our pool of media, right? And I haven't gone through all this and labeled it, but generally we would want to start with an establishing shot of the outside of the place. But we're going to start here for time's sake. And so what I do is I just pulled up this clip, set an in point and an out point, and now I want to take my B-roll and I want to have my audio be in between my sound of talent and my soundtrack. And I want my video to be up here on video 2 so that I don't erase any of this interview footage. And I'm going to hit overwrite, so period. Okay, we're going to change this back to composite video for the display mode.
Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia.
Alright. And we can actually put a cross dissolve at the very beginning, right, so that it fades up. Alright. And it's very important that we have pacing. So now we'll go find another clip. Play of a cat. That works too, though. Okay. Overwrite.
Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia.
Alright, hopefully we find another one of her actually making some coffee. Oh, there's coffee. Okay.
Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia. Only one in Georgia, and it started from a film class I was in.
Now we've got these nat sounds in here that could add to the story, but if they compete with what we're talking about, we want to make sure that we disable them. Right click, click on enable, they'll turn gray, and they won't play out.
Yeah, so we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from a film class I was in. I had to do a project on some phenomenon in media, so I picked YouTube cat.
When we introduce her,
From a film.
we want to make sure that we can see her first for at least 4 seconds so that we can put her lower third on. But then we can start adding more B-roll in to sell the story of what it is that we're talking about. All that will be identified in your script. That should do it. So that is dialogue editing, and let's recap here. We covered how to create the rough sequence, building the story through edits, cleaning up the dialogue, and adding 2-frame transitions between every dialogue edit. And again, that's only on the audio. We don't do that with the video. Then ducking the music down to not compete with the sound of talent. And then lastly, we add in the B-roll to add to the story that we're telling. All right, I'll see you guys over in Module 9.